we are starting to learn a language, we are also starting to develop specific fields or skills. In addition, we are working our very best in order to master our skills and to show appreciation to the language. Despite of this encouragement, I'm afraid that there are still doubts that holding us to the greatest extent of our development. I'm certain that these doubts are the reason for us as to why we are holding back and why we are afraid of showcasing what we can possibly do. Currently, there are 77% of the population who have fear in public speaking. Are you one of those people? If not, then probably one of those people who aren't an effective listener. Or probably you are good in reading and writing. Or rather, you master the skill of interpreting and comprehending non-print and print materials. Well, I think people have weaknesses and strengths despite of the eagerness to learn something or to master a skill. If you are one of those people who lack confidence to showcase your skill in front of everyone, don't worry, because I too have weakness despite of the strengths I have. Through my journey in learning, I discover my own strengths and weaknesses. For the 5 specific fields, speaking, listening, reading and writing skills, and viewing, I am able to look through my weaknesses and my strength. I am certain that there are still areas that I need to improve in my writings because I am not good of a writer. Despite the fact that this is the case, I also find myself in writing since it allows me to focus on what I want to express and what I want to tell to everybody. For me, writing is the best medium of telling others about my point of views and feelings. Thus, it gives me an opportunity to write for myself and helps me to understand interesting things. It helps me see the things I can possibly learn through writing. Moreover, listening is also a part of an important field that needs attention because a good listener is also a good speaker. Even though I am listening to anyone whenever they speak, sometimes I misheard some information, which also caused misunderstanding between the speaker and I. However, that doesn't mean that I don't listen all the time. I also listen to speakers to show my respect to them. Besides, I can also learn from speakers if I will listen to them attentively. I can be able to get a lot of information which I can also use for my own purpose. Additionally, this is not about showing respect or getting information from the speakers, but also to understand what all these people are trying to say to me. With the ability to carefully listen to the speakers, I may be able to understand information which is beyond my prior knowledge. And now, I understand that the very essence of listening is to understand greater things and concepts. Nevertheless, even if I am a listener, it doesn't still encourage me to speak with confidence in front of everybody because I am too afraid that if I made a mistake during my speech, someone will laugh at me or criticize me in a harsh way. I have doubts in me that if I speak to express my thoughts, people might judge me, and that's what I don't like. My fears and doubts undermine my confidence. In addition, a reader also makes someone a good speaker, I know. I also read a lot with different authors, but even if that's the case, I also have troubles in understanding difficult concepts, especially if the text comes from those famous authors and uses difficult words, and I can say that this field is also one of my weaknesses. In this case, viewing is one of my weaknesses, because sometimes I am experiencing troubles of interpreting text, especially that it is a little bit confusing and the words are difficult to understand. I am working this one out in order for me to overcome it and be able to become a good reader. These weaknesses are created because of my doubts, and I let it to lose my confidence. Do you have troubles deciphering complex phrases? Or perhaps you struggle to organize your thoughts and words while adhering to grammar rules? Or do you have a finite supply of words, concepts, and knowledge? This is one of the common issues we are facing, particularly the students. Some learners, like me, nevertheless, have difficulty in overcoming my weaknesses. In terms of mastering abilities, I'm not competent at all. I continue to have difficulties in specific areas that I previously thought to be one of my limitations. Despite of my weaknesses, there are certain areas that keep me fascinated. Even if these weaknesses are exhausting at times, because I'm losing hope that I'll never be able to overcome them and make it one of my areas of competence. I was able to evaluate myself in the areas of figurative language, grammar, and vocabulary, and I was able to look through my weaknesses and strengths. I was able to ponder thoughts about what areas I still need to work on and what areas I am interested in. After assessing myself, I can say that figurative language is the least and need development, because sometimes when I come across the words in which meanings are separated and is not being told directly, I have difficulty in comprehending what the author is trying to imply. However, I am not always a complete noob in this area. I can also understand words with hidden meanings sometimes. Despite the fact that these fields still need some development, I am eager to learn everything and do everything just to work this weakness of mine and turn this as one of my strengths. Mastering this skill is a little hard for me since I know that the concepts under figure of speech is a little bit confusing. However, I know that if I invest my attention and focus in this area, I may be able to overcome my limitation. Moreover, I say that this field is between of 100% and still need room for improvement. Subsequently, my grammar is also a bit messed up because, in terms of making sentences or organizing my sentences, I can't be able to make my words and phrases as near as impressive. I do have a lot of grammatical errors whenever I am writing my essay and can't even organize my ideas properly, then it resulted to crumple like a piece of paper. In addition, even if grammar is one of my weaknesses, it doesn't guarantee that I know nothing about it. I also know about common concepts and knowledge about grammar. Nonetheless, I am also interested in learning further about organizing ideas and how to make an effective content that will pretty catch the reader's attention. I'd say that this skill is also 50% of my weakness and 50% of my strength. Eventually, my vocabulary is not that impressive at all because sometimes I run out of ideas and words to put into my essay writing. My words are not even close to impress readers and holds their attention. I can't even sound like a native English speaker. However, I do have contain a lot of words in my vocabulary. In addition, vocabulary is the area that also interests me, and I also know a little bit about it, so it doesn't mean that I am zero for this skill. It is just that all the time I have enough words left in me. Furthermore, these weaknesses that I have will also turn out to be an improved one, and I will overcome that limitation.